everyone. This is Peter Stone with another episode of For Some Reason, We're Not, more than half of us are satisfied with the year that we just lived. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And I've been talking through the year on this program about the reasons why, the things, the little blockages that get in our way. And do you speak who you really are? Do you speak your feelings? Do you speak up when you feel you should speak up? Or do you not, to be safe? Hold your feelings in, hold your energy in, and therefore not be who you really are and not allow the people around you to really know who you are. And this is a big challenge for a lot of people. Courage, our courage to speak up, our courage to say no, our courage to say yes. We don't want to hurt other people's feelings and this and that. And quite frankly, when we are not serving ourselves with our truth, we're really hurting other people because we are misguiding them in who we really are, because we are not voicing our inner self, our being, that if we did say no, wow, I really wanted to say no, but I didn't, and I did this thing. And then in some cases, I've heard some people, maybe even myself in the past, complaining because I did this and I should have said no and I didn't, or I should have said yes, whichever is the flip side, it doesn't matter. The point is, we agreed to something that was not in sync or agreeable really to us, agreeable to our core, and then we got uncomfortable, then we complained, and we maybe even got into a whining state, complaining, making noise, our attitude got poor, we were not happy, essentially, with what we did. And that all comes full circle to our internal courage, that we speak up for ourselves and our ideas. And, it's running with the crowd, and that everybody's doing this and everybody's doing that, and I can't speak against that, or I can't be different. But we are different. And not always in big, huge ways, but in ways that we feel that we should say something. It's best if we speak our heart and our soul, but we don't. And therefore, we're constantly keeping stuff in, and that builds stress and tension as we go out in the world because we're not being us. And sometimes you see some people that are really speak their word, and they might be going over the other side of the fence where they just say whatever they want to say, when they want to say it. In some cases, it's almost rude. But there is a politeness or a way to live into our courage. And so let me ask, do you feel you express your true self and what you want? Do you do that enough? And enough is so you're feeling good about yourself, that you've actually had a good day because you've been courageous. And I don't mean you've got to go save a sinking fishing boat or a sinking ship or anything like that. And that is a good courage too. But just our daily courage in living and speaking from our heart, from who we are. Are there actions in your life that you could be taking bolder steps and being more congruent with who you are? Congruent with your word. I mean, how can we really live in a space we say no, or we don't say no, we say yes, but we feel no? What does that do to us? And when we stack that up, that creates a level of uncomfortability. Okay, we are uncomfortable with ourselves. I mean, I know this personally. There's a book, a paperback book about saying no. Actually, it's a big psychology. It's a big challenge for a lot of the population. And when we are a little more courageous and saying no when we mean no, saying yes when we mean yes, and taking actions that are good for us, good for our family, good for our friends, and good for the world. By doing this, this makes your moment, your day, your week, and your year the best it can possibly be. Is it easy? It's not easy to do this. Because, what are they going to say? What are they going to do? And, what will so-and-so say? Well, quite frankly, they might say, I didn't know. I think about that sometimes too. So be a little braver. Take yourself out and expose yourself of who you really are, and you'll find a greater level of comfort and productivity by doing so. So if you're going to feel more confident in your life, what negative beliefs would you have to stop having? What things would you have to push away or not allow on your radar, into your life, into your thinking? So you make that list again, the old pen. I mean, I just love this because this is productive, right? The things that don't serve me, that are negative, not congruent with my thinking, my being, and write them. And what is the opposite of that? What do I want? What's the positive beliefs I have? And the beliefs that I want to, if I want to speak up, I need to speak up. I need to speak up. But not only speaking up, but feeling good about that. And you will after time. And that starts to amplify your energy. So there's a couple ways to get into the state of feeling with energy. And I remember I did a lot of Tony Robbins training long time ago. And guess what? I did this life mastery. 9 days I found myself on a telephone pole 50 feet up with nothing to hold on to and jump. Working till 2 o'clock in the morning, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, doing some really intense work. And some of the things that he taught, and still teaches, I would say, was to feel in your moment. And there's other people out there talking about this and other methods. But I just remember that because he used to say, get in your space, in your own room, wherever you are, and to pick up your feeling, to use tools that are almost silly, but effective. And who really cares what the tools are if you get the results you're after? And in this case, he used to say, look, just stand up and find your space and stand solid, stand strong. And we can't be feeling good when we're bent over, looking forward. You look at people walking down the street, looking down, and they actually look despondent and lacking energy. You look at other people moving a little faster, looking ahead, even glancing up from time to time, looking up. And looking up is good for physiology, but looking straight ahead any place above than looking down will lift your energy naturally. And I still do this because sometimes I get up and I'm looking down while I'm walking, and I have to, when I pick up and I look ahead, it's amazing. Little switches like this change our energy. Standing up straighter. So if you're watching this, well, you would be watching this if you're hearing me. So you're watching this, stand up and stand straight, but stretch yourself. Stand a little taller and straighter. And I know I can sit in my chair and I can slump and I can lean back. And I don't know how you feel. You go into somebody's office and you see them slumping back and they're at their desk like this. I mean, doesn't seem like we got a lot going on there. So if you're sitting up straight, you stand up tall and you breathe and you move. And Robin says, move like you have a Superman cape on your back. It's a switch. He's all about the psychology and the physiology. And the funny thing is that little tool works amazingly. You can try it. Just stand up and you walk around your room while watching this, or you can do it after. But while watching this, just walk up and look and walk around and walk to the left and walk to the right. Stand tall and bend with meaning, with a little bit of force, and feel like you're strong and powerful. I mean, every one of us has felt strong in our life at some point. I mean, there may be some exceptions, and, it's certainly not the rule. But every single one of us has felt good and felt confident at one point or another. What were those times? Get the pen, get the paper out and say, well, why did I feel confident? What made me feel good? What sparked me? What lifted my energy that made me feel invigorated or confident and feeling present and strong and a little bit courageous? And when I say courageous, I'm just meaning living into ourselves and being who we are and living fully, okay? And verbalizing what we feel and what we believe. And when we live in that space, again, I'm repeating, and it's worth repeating because we're not cheating others. We're not cheating ourselves, and we're not misrepresenting ourselves. And people think, oh, well, I didn't think you thought like that, or I didn't know you cared about this. And if we're masking our feelings and our ideas, then we're masking ourselves. And that's great for Halloween, or if you want to work on a stage and be an actor or an actress, and maybe even more so on a stage, you're even being more confident because you've got that. But you're acting into something, which is you're not being maybe who you are internally, but that's an art, okay? So I don't want to get confused here where we're just talking about us being congruent and who we are. So you can make these lists and work and remember what it is or what it was that made you feel so good. And maybe it happens to you. Maybe you're living in that space. But could you do more? We all have moments of being unsettled and uncomfortable and lacking confidence. We have doubt. And so any kind of tool that you can use and just refuse. I mean, just check your posture. Number one, check your posture. I know if I'm sitting down a little slumped or I'm not standing up straight, and I remind myself, or I get in the morning, I don't even have anything written. I used to have lots written on my mirror, but I'll get up in the morning and I'm like maybe bent over and I realize, wow, I'm not alive and awake. And I look in the mirror and I straighten up and all of a sudden Amazing. I feel a lot better, not a little bit, a lot better just by standing up straight. Really amazing the things we can do with some little simple movement. So, in the privacy of your own home, your apartment, wherever you live, your room, you don't want anybody in your house to see you, close the bedroom, go in the closet, go up in the attic, throw your cape on and walk around and be your own Superman. Be Superwoman. Be your own strong self. Be the person who you really are. One thing for sure, we do know who we are, and really others can have opinions about us, but there's only one person that knows the real you, and that's you. So when you know that and you can live from it and have the courage to live from it and be more you, you'll feel better. You'll have more energy. Getting back to our episode 16, generating energy. And these tools, one by one, stack up. They stack up strong and they give you the energy for the day, and they will help you have the best year yet. So just practice, practice, practice until you feel. Just do it. Just give it a shot. So you know what you've been doing for the many years and how you've been doing it. And if it's not serving you, then you need to go out of your comfort zone. And that's what high performance is all about, is stepping out of, well, this is so comfortable, and that's work. So I'm listening to this guy, Bo Eason, and another football player. And he's a pretty good safety. He has a good record. And he said, you can't really be too comfortable. You got to get out. You got to stretch it. You got to do things that matter. And it's not the easy way. It's not the simplest way. I mean, maybe it's simple, but it's not always easy. So when we take on challenges and we do some things, as silly as they may be, or as awkward as we may feel, when we do them, we get the results. When we get the results doing one thing, and then we try another thing, and we try another thing, they stack up. And how do I know? I know because I've done it, and it's made differences. I observe other people. I listen to other people that have done these things. Huge differences in their life. I have a new friend, and I spoke a couple of episodes, Lisa Pizek, and she was really overweight for a long time. And one day she decided, no more. I'm just not going there. And she now teaches a Beachbody training, and she's fit and trim, and she's consistent. And yes, she said, I went away on a vacation. I went up to Canada for 2 weeks with my family, totally enjoying it. My son, we had a blast. We ate. I ate things that I wouldn't normally eat, but that's what vacations are for, okay? So in your thinking and forward, I have to give this up, and I don't want to give this up, and I don't want to give that up. You don't have to give it up. You just have to not have it as much, perhaps. And you don't have to be uncomfortable all the time striving. I mean, you could. Striving for better. And you don't have to do that. Only if you always want to be a high performer, or if you really want to be a high performer, that's what you have to do. But if you want just more energy in taking a step and you want more courage, you've got to take some of these steps. There's no way around it. It doesn't just happen. It just doesn't just happen. I mean, we get out of bed and we have to generate some energy in the morning to get moving. Turn on our mind. And maybe the first place to go is before you go to bed, say, I choose to be more courageous. Before you go to bed, maybe write it down on a piece of card and ask yourself before you go to bed, how could I write it down? 3x5 cards, they're inexpensive, great tools. They sit around, they're in front of us. You write it down. How could I be more courageous going into tomorrow morning? Let your mind sleep on it. Let it work on what you thought. Maybe you read something if you use the computer before you go to bed. I mean, why would you ever watch, and I'm here in a TV station, but I don't know why anybody would watch a channel, the 11 o'clock news, okay, on the national and international things, because most news is not a uplifting thing. It doesn't leave us with a positive mindset before we go to bed. I mean, all of that stuff, I mean, I just feel it in my solar plexus. All that stuff, this and that and this and the things I won't even repeat that are on the news. I mean, I don't watch it anymore. Once in a while, I go in to see what's going on in the world. And a lot of it is, created. And that's why I like this public TV, the community TV, where it's serving the local community in a more positive way, as opposed to the national or the international news that I can't really say. There's not a whole lot of sunshine in there for me. So think about some of the things by watching less than useful things. It doesn't help us feel confident about tomorrow and about life, because we're bombarded with things that aren't so nice. But when we look at the other side, there are beautiful people in the world doing wonderful things all over the world. And we can go online and we can read about them, but we're kind of splattered. I mean, I still use AOL, it's kind of the dark ages, but I still use it because they saved all of my information, all some important emails. So I just don't shut it off. But when I go in there, I mean, this thing has so much distraction, and all I wanted to do was check my email. And I don't know how much of it's truth, because maybe it's the 15th hand person that has passed that information and somebody creating a story. And a story has a place, but when it's news and it's supposed to be straight on to you, well, that's a whole nother place that I won't continue on. But I will continue on raising your energy, raising your confidence in the things we can do. And reading the paper is, another place where, there's a lot of things that maybe aren't useful. And if you read newspapers and you like newspapers, I love the feel of a newspaper. It's nice. And a book, book, not reading online all the time. That we can read things that actually are supporting us. So don't forget to work on your stance, on your position when you get up in the morning. Take a deep breath, even if you don't feel about it. Make a note by your bedside and ask questions before you go to bed that are positive questions. How can this be different? How could we change this? How can I have more courage? How can I have more energy? How can I be more productive? And we are going to talk about productivity and that will be another session, but I just wanted to talk and plant a few seeds here where our energy, our courage, our confidence, it all adds up to our productivity, whether we're playing sports or in our job or in our day, that we don't waste time, and that we have a fulfilling day and a rich day and a rich life. So, are you happy? Something you can make a little note to think about until the next episode here, which will be episode 18, talking about productivity. I mean, are you happy with your levels of focus and productivity in the things that you do, whether it's your sports or your health, your fitness, your family, your business if you own one, or where you work? Do you feel like you're productive enough? Do you use your time wisely? And if so, why? And what is it that allows you to be very productive? And can you apply that to other areas of your life, whether you're really productive in business, maybe not in your family, maybe in your family, but not in your business, or in the place of work, or in your sports, or in your health? So if you're really productive in one area, how can you carry it over to another area in your life and make the changes so your life, in some cases, cannot be balanced because you're so obsessive about doing one thing, and that's a choice. And if that is you, that's fine. And there are no rules for any of us other than, and they're not rules, there just aren't any rules, but we're given gifts to live a happy, healthy, prosperous, productive life. And we don't need to shortchange ourselves any place. By doing simple things, we can get huge leverage in our life. Think about the distractions in a day. Write them down. Think about, I won't be distracted for next session. Could you remove some of the distractions, or could you replace them? And do you have habits that are productive habits that help you? When you go to exercise, do you follow through and follow up? And do you have like a regimen, something similar? It can be 5 minutes. I mean, I did the show, my simple regimen, and last night I did it. And I was like really surprised because I was doing a lot of work, traveling and the weather, and I don't particularly care for gyms, and some people do. And I just was busy, and I got off my kind of schedule. And I knew as soon as I got things back in order, because I had flux going on, some change, and it's all good. And I welcomed it. But when I got out and rode my bike and got my weights out and did my pumping, first time I was tired. Oh my God. I'm like, man, you're out of shape. Can't make it to the top of the hill. That's okay, because in a few days, I know, after a little practice and putting my habits into work, I'm back at it. So really, one day later, I was astonished at the energy I had. I just wanted to do one set of kicks, like 18, and one set of bends, but I ended up doing 3 full sets with my weights. And I really wanted to do more, but the mosquitoes started coming out. It was like 6:45, and I was in the park in Manchester, and I just feeling really good. And I could have stayed up, like, it seemed like 24 hours. But anyway, just sharing that with you, that, look, nothing about being perfect here. Just keep the effort of productivity, courage, energy. So jump into some high performance, whatever that means, a little step up or a big step up. Go for it. Make your life an enjoyable pleasure every day. Peter Stone checking out. We'll see you next episode. Thanks very much.